your blood, and I received 117 blood transfusions, so I needed platelets, plasma, red blood cells, so whichever you gave, thank you. But I'm going to just tell just a really quick, brief little snippet of my story. I'll tell more upstairs tonight because it is quite a long story, but just so you have a little bit to go off of. But really, I want to meet you guys, and this is all about you, so thank you so much for coming. I am so grateful. So my story is 8 years ago. I was a high school senior. I was 18, living the life, straight A's, top of my class, very active in theater. I was active in sports, very outgoing, but I suddenly became very sick and ended up going into liver failure, which was pretty odd for me. I'd never had any liver problems. My family never had liver problems. I was only 18, and it was very unnerving. But we actually didn't know that was going on until I actually went to the hospital. And by that time, I was actually in multi-organ failure at that point. So went into the hospital, and the doctor said that I needed a liver transplant to save my life. So my parents were faced with that. I'm an only child, so I don't know if any of you can understand the amount of pressure, fear that they were under at that point. And their faith in God definitely carried them through that time. But my kidneys were failing, my pancreas was failing, my heart, my lungs collapsed twice, both of them, and of course my liver was failing, and as well as my brain, which I'll go into more about that upstairs. But of course I needed blood transfusions, many of them, 117 to be exact. That has to do with the physiology of the liver. That liver produces clotting factors. So when you cut yourself, you bleed a little bit and then it stops. Well, the liver produces clotting factors so that it stops. So if I got cut, I wouldn't stop bleeding. I would bleed out and die just from a little cut because of the amount of liver failure that I was in, unless I got blood transfusions. Hence, that's where you all come in. I was in the ICU for 2 months, and I was in the inpatient rehabilitation institution at that same hospital for 2 weeks after. That's just because of the amount of muscle mass that I had lost during that time. I'll go into more of it upstairs, but I lost all of my muscle mass completely during that time. I mean, I had to learn how to literally swallow again. I had to do exercises. So I was very sick. And but after that time, I went on to live a normal life. I fought really hard, worked really hard to live that normal life. I'm a fighter. So I went to college that following fall, and believe me, I had many doubters. Doctors, a lot of my physical therapists said, there's no way you can go to college. There's no way you can do this early. Are you kidding? And I said, no, you don't. No, I'm going. In fact, my dad, he knows me so well that he wanted to fight for me too, and he wanted to support me, of course, because my dad's amazing. And he said, you know what, Amanda, if we need you to get one of those scooters to go to class, that's fine. That pissed me off, because I am not ready to scooter. I am walking. So no, I am walking, because I actually ended up riding my bike most of the ways, but nonetheless, I'm going to walk, because that's what I came into the hospital. I was walking. I'm going to walk out the rest of my life. That's what I was determined to do. And it took several months. I had a little bit of a hobble, but I was doing it. So went to nursing school. I became a nurse. I graduated from ASU in 4 years, and I went on to work in the ICU, actually, where I was a patient. So I worked alongside the doctors and nurses that saved my life for 3 years. Now, 1 year later, I am working with Maricopa Integrated Health Systems. I'm working in a GI liver clinic, and I help just a lot of patients with liver problems as well still, so they're my love. And I've traveled to numerous countries. I love traveling. Just to tell you some of the things that I've been able to do with my life, I worked in a hospital in London for 3 months. I traveled to Scotland and France and Spain, Italy, Greece, and Turkey, Ecuador, Peru. I hiked Machu Picchu several years ago, been to Australia and New Zealand, and served on a mission trip in Haiti. Am I forgetting anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. My husband's in front.
Got married.
And hopefully more to come, but my husband's in front. We got married a year ago, and we could not be happier. I am so joyful to be married. We bought a house. We have the cutest little dog, Oliver, and he is the cutest dog. I know that all owners say that, but seriously, he is. He's the cutest dog out there. So, but enough about me. That's my story. I'll tell you more later, but I want to meet you.